Welcome back. Today we will do about the respiration in animals and especially in human beings in this video. Watch the video properly and note down the important points in your notebook. Respiration in animals. All the animals need oxygen for respiration and expel out carbon dioxide produced during respiration. The surface where this gaseous exchange from surroundings takes place is called respiratory surface. Special characteristics for efficient exchange of gases. The respiratory surface has a large surface area. It is extremely thin and moist for efficient diffusion of respiratory gases. It is richly supplied with blood capillaries. It means it is highly vascular. Respiratory surface is permeable to respiratory gases. It means gases can be diffused easily at this surface. There should be a provision for carrying oxygen to respiratory surface and carrying away carbon dioxide from the respiratory surface, that is, respiratory pigment. Exchange of gases in animals. Unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium. Simple multicellular organisms like sponges, planarians, and free living nematodes show direct respiration. The oxygen dissolved in water diffuses directly into their body cells, and carbon dioxide diffuses out of the cells into the water. Respiration in animals. There are different types of respiration which can be seen in different animals. First of all, cutaneous respiration. It can be seen in earthworms. They respire through their skin. Trachea or air tubes. In insects, centipedes, and millipedes. This type of respiration is called tracheal respiration, which take place through the spiracles. Book lungs in scorpions and spiders. Pulmonary sac in pila. Pila is having two types of respiration. One is pulmonary respiration when it is in air and having gills also to respire in water. Lungs in all vertebrates except fishes. The respiration which takes place through lungs, it is called pulmonary respiration. Respiratory system of human beings. Now you can see that here is nose present at our face having two openings which lead to the nasal passages. These nasal passages they reach to the common passage called pharynx. This pharynx is having a opening for air tube. This is called glottis. And at the entry of this glottis, there is present a cartilaginous flap-like structure which keep this opening closed while swallowing the food. Otherwise, some food particles they can enter into this windpipe or trachea and cause coughing. Then it leads to the larynx or voice box. Here it is present and then it reaches to the trachea or windpipe. Next part, windpipe or trachea, which is further divided into two bronchi, which goes to two different lungs, right and left lung. Right lung is slightly larger than the left lung. Right lung is having three lobes while left lung is having two lobes, but it is having a cardiac notch in which heart is accommodated. After entering these bronchi into the lungs, they divide or further subdivide into secondary and tertiary bronchioles. At the end of each bronchiole, there is present a grape-like structure at their end, terminal end, called alveoli. And these two lungs, they rest on a muscular segment called diaphragm. Nostrils and nasal passages. Nostrils are a pair of slits at the lower end of the nose just above the mouth. These are the openings of nasal passages. Nasal passages are separated from the buccal cavity by a hard bony palate. They are lined with moist, ciliated mucous membrane and opens into the pharynx by internal nares. Functions which are performed or functions of nasal passages. The hair present in the nostrils trap bacteria and dust particles present in the inhaled air. The moist mucous lining of nasal passages make the air moist. Nasal passages warm or cool the air to body temperature before it enters in the lungs. Olfactory receptors present in the mucous lining of nasal passages detect smell. Next part of respiratory system, pharynx. This opening of air tube or trachea in the pharynx is called glottis. It is guarded by a cartilaginous flap called epiglottis. During swallowing, epiglottis closes glottis and keep the food out of respiratory tube. Larynx. The anterior part of trachea is dilated and is called larynx or voice box. It has two pairs of vocal cords and their vibrations produce voice. Trachea. It is a long tube extending from larynx in the neck to bronchi in the thoracic cavity. It lies ventral to the esophagus and its wall is supported with C-shaped cartilaginous rings to prevent its collapsing when it is empty. Bronchi and bronchioles. The trachea divides into two primary bronchi on entering thoracic cavity. The right bronchus is slightly larger than the left one. Each primary bronchus divides into secondary and tertiary bronchi after entering into the lungs. These further divide into bronchioles. Now, alveolar sacs or alveoli. These are the functional unit of lungs. The respiratory bronchioles finally ends in alveolar duct connected with a alveolar sac having numerous alveoli or air sacs. Here you can see that bronchioles, they further divide and they are attached with a alveolar duct, and these are grape-like structure called alveoli. These are highly vascular. It means they are covered with larger number of arteries and veins. They provide rich supply of the blood for diffusion of gases. Characteristics of alveolar wall for an efficient gaseous exchange. Thin and formed of single layer of squamous epithelium. Highly vascular, that is covered with network of capillaries for rich blood supply. Alveoli have a large surface area for gaseous exchange. Alveoli receive oxygen rich fresh air. Lungs, the main respiratory organ. The lungs are a pair of conical, highly spongy, air-filled sacs formed of millions of alveoli. Lungs occupy major part of the thoracic cavity. The right lung is larger with 3 lobes, while the left lung has just 2 lobes. It is smaller in size to accommodate heart. The lungs are enclosed by a double-layered membrane called pleura. Pleura is the outermost membrane which covers these lungs, and these are two in number called pleural membranes. The space between the two pleural membranes is filled with pleural fluid. This fluid lubricates the membranes to avoid friction. The lungs are enclosed in airtight thoracic cavity. Blood supply to lungs. Pulmonary arteries bring deoxygenated blood from right auricles to lungs for oxygenation. The capillary network around the alveoli join and rejoin to form pulmonary vein. These are 4 in number and get empty in the left auricle. Mechanism of breathing. Lungs are elastic, bag-like structures which cannot contract or expand on their own. Lungs expand or contract with the expansion or contraction of thoracic cavity brought about by the respiratory movement of rib cage and diaphragm. While we are breathing, you can feel the movement of rib cage and diaphragm during inhalation and exhalation. It is generated by the action of intercostal muscles, which are attached to the rib cage, and radial muscles, which are attached to the diaphragm. Breathing is a mechanical process completed in 2 steps: inspiration and expiration. Inspiration is the breathe in fresh air. Expiration is the exhaling out air. Inhalation or inspiration. What happens while we inhale the air, or how we inhale the fresh air in our body? Here you can see that inhalation is seen, that air is inhaled. How it takes place? That the thoracic cavity expands by the contraction of intercostal muscles of rib cage, which pulls the ribs and sternum upward, forward and outward, which increases the volume of this thoracic cavity. The contraction of radial muscles of diaphragm causes flattened of dome-shaped diaphragm. This dome-shaped diaphragm becomes flattened. It also helps in increasing the volume of thoracic cavity. As the volume increases, then the pressure decreases. Thus, the volume of thoracic cavity increases, lungs expand, and air pressure in the lungs decreases. The fresh air from air passages sucked into the lungs fills the alveoli. Next is exhalation or expiration. Here you can see that during expiration, volume of thoracic cavity decreases by the relaxation of intercostal muscles that push the ribs inwards. That intercostal muscles, they relax and come to their original position. As they come to their original position, their rib cage, the volume of thoracic cavity, that decreases. Relaxation of radial muscles of diaphragm, which make it dome shaped. As it becomes dome shaped, moves upward, it also helps in reducing the volume of thoracic cavity. This presses the lungs and air is pushed out. Internal or tissue respiration. It occurs in tissues. It is also known as cellular respiration. The oxygen diffuses from blood capillaries to the cells and carbon dioxide from cells into the blood capillaries. Transport of oxygen. How oxygen is transported? There is a pigment present in the blood called hemoglobin. Hem means iron, globin is the protein. Hemoglobin of RBCs has great affinity with oxygen. It combines with oxygen and forms an unstable compound oxyhemoglobin. It is carried by blood to the tissues where oxygen concentration is low and oxyhemoglobin breaks down with the release of oxygen. Transport of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide produced during cellular respiration is removed by the blood as bicarbonate dissolved in plasma and is carried to the lungs. So most of the carbon dioxide that is removed from the body by forming bicarbonates. In lungs, bicarbonate release carbon dioxide which diffuses into the alveolar air. Emphysema. Emphysema is a disease or a disorder caused due to smoking. In this, alveolar cilia are damaged, which cleans the air entering the lungs and also reduces the capability of taking oxygen from air. Thanks.